What we have here just showed up in a FedEx truck. That poor girl, she's our regular FedEx driver, really nice young lady, and she doesn't weigh anywhere near what this box weighs. So that's why I was told by their tracking Bluvall that this was going to show up today, so I stayed home. Because I don't see it. I mean, you know, she might have her ways, but this box is like at least 50% more than what she weighs. I couldn't see her getting it out of the truck and bringing it over here. So, just showed up, and I'm going to open it up and see what we got inside. Small amount of damage here. Shouldn't be anything that causes any problem. I look inside there, there's nothing there. Everything should be good in there. But you never know. So we're going to go past that and we'll come back to it from the other side. But there was questions about whether this was, my goodness, that's a thick box. There was questions about whether or not this was going to show up. It's an electric bicycle, by the way. Okay? And I haven't heard of Bluvall before, but there was a YouTube channel, link in the description, of course, although the enormous discount is probably already gone. But I got an enormous discount. The manufacturer was running a sale, and which brought it down from like $1,600 down to 12 something. And then there was a YouTuber, which is how I found out about it, that had a discount code. He's probably reviewing it for Bluvall. I purchased it myself. I'm not getting anything for free here. So as I tell you about things here, keep in mind, I have no reason to tell you anything but the truth. Nobody's paying me anything. Nobody's giving me anything. I bought this, and I'm going to tell you about it. Now, I've been an avid bicycle rider all of my life. It's probably one of the reasons that I'm still able to walk right now, is because of my devotion to bicycles. You can't see it very well yet, but there's part of it. It's got the yellow rims. They also have it available with black rims, but they were out of stock on that. And I wanted to get this ordered while these discounts were in effect. Okay. They've got, go ahead and pull the top of it back. Hold that back. This has got fat tires, 2 batteries, 2 motors, front and rear. It's 2-wheel drive, which, you know, most of the time you don't really need that second wheel drive. Yeah, that's some stiff cushioning. That, if it was soft and mushy, my big butt would take it right down to here and then I'd be sitting on steel. Well, we don't want that. So this is good. This is good. You have tail light, brake light, and turn signals. See if we can get this off of here. That, okay. Looked like it had something in it, but that's just an extra padding. This seems to be packaged really well. And comes with a toolkit. It should be in here someplace. Looks like a lot of Allen bolts, which, you know, I've got Allen wrenches, but it's nice to have a tool kit that comes with it. A lot of people, believe it or not, don't even have the most basic of tools. To me, that's, I don't know about you, but to me that's hard to believe, but it's the truth. We got a notice on here, do not connect positive and negative, you know, the standard battery stuff, you know, how not to blow yourself up with a battery. And it's got a key here also. We'll get into, is that a scratch? Nope. Yeah, it might be a very, very minor scratch on there, but trust me, this thing can get a lot more scratches than that on there real quick. With me riding it. Let's see what's in the box. What's in the box? Okay. User manual. Instructions. Yeah, I'm a good old American boy. We don't need that. Actually, I'm just messing with you. I'm probably going to need that. A charger. And there are two of them. Since there are two batteries, you can charge both batteries at the same time. We'll put those back in the box because we don't need them just yet. So we got two chargers. Reflectors and a bunch of Allen bolts. A phone holder that, judging from previous experience with phone holders, will not hold my phone. Maybe we can find some other use for it. My phone is enormous. Pedals. Cheap little Walmart pedals. I'm not expecting too much. If I want to get fancy with it, I'll buy some better pedals. Turn signal and turn signal. Those are for the front. The headlight. Wow, this thing is lightweight. I expected this to be heavier. It, from what I've seen in videos about this thing, the bolts are going to go in right here. You've got light around here and light here. It puts out a very focused and shaped beam of strong light, and I think that's going to work out great. There's the tool bag, I believe. I wonder if it's got any place to carry the tool bag on the bike, because you got to have them with you. Tools that are at home don't do you much good if you have a problem out on the trail. 16 and 18 millimeters, 13 and 15, 8 and 10. It's a pretty good selection of exceedingly cheap pot metal wrenches. Allen wrench, Allen wrench, Allen wrench, and a handle for a regular screwdriver and a Phillips screwdriver. Okay, that's probably one of the first things that'll get replaced. They got some cool little screwdrivers out there that have a variety of different bits on them. Not a bad little bag, and just in case you were wondering, you know, if you forget what this bag is later on, which, you know, I'm sneaking up on 68 years old here, I might forget what that bag is. You never know. So it is clearly labeled, has room for additional tools. I like that. Very nice. What else is in here? Ah, these are the headlight brackets to clamp onto the forks and put the headlight in there. So that's what is in that box. Alright. There's another box down here that I think you get to after the bike comes out of the box. Oh man. Yes, the bike itself is quite heavy. It's not just that there's a bunch of other stuff in the box, because there really isn't a bunch of other stuff in the box. This is 92 pounds, they say. And that's not a normal bicycle. A normal bicycle would be considered overweight at 30 pounds. But, hey, that's a battery. There's a box down there that looks like it probably has the other battery in it. There's another battery that goes here in the middle of the frame. Rear shocks, no adjustability, no oil, no damping, nothing. I paid $1,000 approximately. You're not going to get high-level suspension with 2 batteries and 2 drive motors for $1,000. So let's get that front wheel off of there, because that's a lot of the weight. It'll be easier for me to move this thing around. It's whoa. Okay. See if I can get this thing to stand up on its own. So I don't have to. That's a 1,000-watt motor. Let's see, we'll turn it around here. We'll get shots of that, because I'm trying to hold the bike up and hold this wheel up. But that's a 180 millimeter disc on there, the rotor, which gives the hydraulic disc brakes something good to grab onto. The bigger the disc area, the stronger the brake's going to be, because it has more leverage, and it's also not going to generate as much heat, cool down faster. Like I said, I'm pushing 68 years old. I probably won't need any brake upgrades. There's a bag here. Oh, that's got the keys in it. Yes, it has a key switch, and there's 2 keys. It's up there on the handlebars. I think, personally, I'm going to modify these keys to get them down to be something smaller than what they are, because they protrude back from the handlebar towards your leg. So that much of it is protruding back from the back of the handlebar, right near your hand. To me, that's just something to bang your knee on. So I'm going to be cutting that down and drilling a new hole. Okay, we removed a bunch of the foam, and we're starting to see what this thing really looks like. What I was looking for, which I didn't find when I looked for it, there's got to be, oh, there it is. There's a cable running underneath on the left side of the swing arm to go back to power the rear motor. Now this looks like a great place to put a battery. It's probably where the other battery goes. Got the cranks for pedaling it look like something out of Walmart. They might be Shimano, but they're Shimano's lowest end stuff. You're you know, like I said, $1,000. I've paid a lot more than that for a bicycle without any motors and without any batteries. A lot more. I mean, this isn't a high performance vehicle. As I've seen in the YouTube reviews that I've watched, there's no adjustment for the forks. Either preload, damping, nothing. So there's no adjustment. You get what you get. They don't have a lot of travel. Same with the rear. But they can be upgraded. So you get into it at a reasonable price. And if the suspension ends up not being good enough for you, you can upgrade it. So the handlebars, we pull this up here like this, they go into a proper clamp there. You've got your shifter, Shimano, not the upper end Shimano, but Shimano. Brakes, which I'll find out when I get it put together. Most people, if it's not, it's just like, well, even most people with bicycles, regular bicycles, they put the front brake on the left and the rear brake on the right. I don't know why. I've been a motorcycle rider for, what, 117 years now? Front brake is on the right. Most people are right-handed. You take two fingers, put them on that front brake. You have the strength in your right hand, and you have the control in your right hand. I will switch this over. I don't care what it takes if the rear brake is on the right. Because I'm a motorcycle rider. Always have been. I think this is not legal to ride on the street in 2025. Our illustrious government has decided, in their infinite lack of wisdom, that any electric bicycle with a throttle, and this does have a throttle, right here, the inner probably 1/3 of the hand grip rotates. I would rather the whole thing rotated. I would feel like I was on a motorcycle, but it has a throttle. And in California, yeah, they talk all the big talks about environment and stuff like that. They want everything to be electric, but not the bicycles. So this is where I am actually going to sit down and start looking at the directions. Should the switch be on when you plug it in? What's going to tell you what it's doing? But it goes in and slides onto these rails right here. So we'll get back with you after I learn a few things. Okay. Front wheel. Pretty obvious which direction it goes on. There's only a brake rotor on one side. Looks like you got washers. Okay, that's got a washer to hold it in place there. Because this is going to hold the motor. Gives it something to grip onto the fork with. I'm assuming that means it goes this way. Because here's the power cord. And the caliper was closed up, so I had to take a screwdriver. The supplied one worked. Put it in there, open up the caliper. Usually double check to make sure that the rotor is in between the two pads, and it is very good. Okay, that's just sitting on there. And now she's standing up like a bicycle, and you grab the number 18 wrench. 18 millimeters, I'm going to assume, is what they're trying to say, but in the directions it says number 18 wrench. And you're going to tighten that down. I'd probably, if I had the axle nut backed off further, it might have been easier putting that wheel on. It's actually on both sides is a lot closer to being tightened up than it needs to be. Okay. Number 18 back in the bag. And the screwdriver back in the bag. I was confused looking at it when I saw this, like in the position of an axle there. I'm like, but it has an axle on the wheel. This is just to keep the forks from getting shoved on, and keep them separated properly during shipping, I assume. Now I'm going to take, and I assume that bolt there is for fender. Can't really see into this connector. I'm going to go ahead and cut the cable tie off. I might have to cable tie it back into the place with a cable tie of my own. But I need some room to look at this and see how it goes. Okay. It has arrows on it. Okay, that should be in there nice and tight. Now, the instructions, although better than the instructions that used to come with, like, say, a Honda or a Yamaha motorcycle back in the 60s, they're better than that, but they still leave a bit to be desired. The fender through here, probably bracket in the front, because it's not flat on the back. And bolt that up, and most likely, oh, the Allen bolt is in the fork there, just waiting for me. I wonder what all them Allen bolts are for. There's a bunch of them. Probably the headlight and stuff like that, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm going to go ahead and bolt this fender on. Okay, different day here. The other day when the Bluvall arrived, later on in the afternoon, before I was done working on it, we had to go and do something, so I had to put it away. And then for the next 3 days after that, the weather sucked. Raining, cold, windy. Terrible, terrible, terrible. If I'm not going to ride it, I'm not going to work on it either, because it's not like I have a garage or someplace inside to work on it. So, one thing that I want to stress is that these bolts here, this one and the one on the other side, come in the opposite direction here. And this one on top here, you gotta get crazy on them little tiny Allen wrenches, or go ahead and go get your own decent sized, good quality Allen wrenches. Otherwise, if you just tighten these up to a level that's comfortable to do with the provided Allen wrenches, the handlebars are turned and the front forks just stay still. Now, I had some problems with the headlight bracket, because the instructions, which, you know, I understand there's translation problems and everything, but the instructions tell you nothing about how to put together the headlight brackets. It's kind of a cheap setup, where this bolt here is going through a part of the bracket that wraps around here and tucks in like that. They're not really secure. You got to put these paper or rubber buffers in there to make it tight and make it fit better. And then when I got to the part where I needed a 13mm wrench, I got to go get my own 13mm wrench, because their wrench is actually about 12.9mm and doesn't fit around that 13mm bolt. So I'm going to go and get the proper tools and be back in a minute. That is a cool looking headlight though, and from what I've seen on other people's videos, it puts out a decent beam. So we'll get back on that, and we'll be plugging in all these excess wires. I'm sure that this is the headlight, because the light coming out of the headlight itself is orange, and that is orange, and then these are going to be left and right turn signals when I get those bolted up. So I got both batteries charged. We're getting close. Now, as I expected, because it's considered a bicycle, they put their brake levers on the wrong side. They put them on the bicycle side. The right brake lever is the rear, the left brake lever is the front. That's the bicycle way. I've been a motorcycle rider all of my life, well, since I was 11. That's wrong. Most people in the world are right-handed. The front brake is the one that you want to have the most control over, have the most strength in, at your right hand. This could be considered a 3-finger or a 2-finger brake lever. Good disc brakes on it, good brand, and so I'm saying that the RSX brakes will stop well, but I'm not going to do it right now. But at some point I'm going to have to swap those brake levers around. Let's see what else we got. The turn signals on, we got the headlight on. I see a couple more things. Well, I need to plug in the turn signal lights, and then it looks like there's another plug, another cord. See, that's turn signal. Okay, all I need to plug in up here is the turn signal lights. They're not marked left or right, so you got a 50-50 chance of getting it right the first time. The tires, as shipped, the front one was at about 3 psi. The rear one was at about 7. It says on the side, let's see, where does it say it here? "5 to 30. Now I want these tires, since they're big and balloony, not baloney, I wanted these tires to be a part of the suspension system. So I didn't take them to 30, even though I'm probably pretty close to the weight limit on this thing. I took them to 25 psi. Now these wheels, in the description, it says the rims are gold. And if you look here, yeah, they have a sparkle to the yellow. So I guess, yeah, they can be called gold. I thought they were just yellow at first, but there's a definite sparkle to them in the sun. A quick suggestion here. The area for tightening down your turn signal nuts and room for plugging in the wiring and everything behind the headlight there is pretty tight. Put the turn signals on first. You can get them on there later, but it would make it easier to put them on before the headlight. Just a suggestion. Let's put the number 1 battery on here. Get your connectors here. This part slides on over this part, and let's see how that goes. That seems to be on there. Okay. Got both of them charged. Don't know how to access this one because I turn on the key and the display doesn't light up, turn signals don't work, headlight doesn't work, horn doesn't work. Let's try turning this one on. Turn on the key, no display, no horn, no turn signals. I'll have to do some investigating. Okay, we've got 3 sets of keys here, and you get 2 of each key. This one goes in what would be known as the ignition switch. This one, the slotted groove key, goes into the back end on the right side of what I would call the fuel tank battery. Set it on there. Get it aligned with the grooves. Nice click. And that is locked on. You have to take this key, put it in, and turn it and hold it while you pull the fuel tank back. Okay, that's key number 2. And then key number 3 is going to be on the other side. There's top left side of the down tube battery. That one isn't a turn and hold, it's a turn, about 3/4 of a turn, and that's unlocked. Now it's locked. Okay, so you've got a key for removing each battery, which is convenient. You don't have to have the chargers and the bike in the same place. You can charge both batteries off the bike. Okay, so I did, through a thing that's just completely anti-American male, I read the instructions. Okay, so let's see, there's got to be a, over here on this side, this button here on the back of the fuel tank battery is on off. There's your charging port. Turn that on. If you want to use both batteries, now you can supposedly run this off of one battery. You get a different kind of switch over here, and let's get in here close. You push that button, with the battery on, and it gives you a readout. I don't know if we're seeing that on the camera or not, but it gives you a readout of how much battery you've got left there. You're supposed to be able to run this on one battery or the other. It's a kind of convenient feature where you can take off from your starting point with both batteries fully charged, go as far as you want. If on one battery, turn the other one off. I'm going to turn the other one off, okay? I turned off the fuel tank battery. They're both the same size. If you go far enough to run that battery dead, time to turn around. Turn this battery on, and you know you're going to get back home. Okay? So you're not going to be left out there pedaling a 92-pound bicycle, which, you know, after years and years of pedaling bicycles that are sub 30 pounds with a narrow seat, because this one's got too wide of a seat, and it's not adjustable, so you can't get your knee length correct, your knee extension. It's not going to be the best in the world for pedaling. I'll pedal it most of the time. Okay, so I've got the fuel tank battery on. I'm going to turn the switch on, and then you come over here and hold that down, and you get this. Now I got to read up on how to go through the different modes. Let's see. Wait a minute. Let's see here. The wire to the back of the headlight is connected, so the horn should work. Turn signals, I don't have the front ones connected yet. They're kind of a pain. Yeah, I got nothing back here. I don't quite understand this one. On, off. I don't know if you're supposed to turn it. It seems like you're supposed to turn that. I'm going to see if I can find anything in the instructions about it. And the mystery button with no markings on it at all, that gives you front wheel drive on or off. Rear wheel drive is always on. Front wheel drive can be turned on and off. If you're not doing anything crazy, turn it off. It'll save you some range. So I lean the bike up on the kickstand, which is a pretty sturdy kickstand, and pedal with one hand while switching the Shimano, the bicycle gears with the other hand, and it doesn't seem to be working very well. Well, maybe if these guys hadn't threaded the derailleur cable through the derailleur, it would work better. So now I gotta take the derailleur apart. Okay, on the lights, got everything connected and thought I had a problem. Turned out the problem was I didn't have everything connected. Then I figured out how to use the headlight switch. You push forwards for on, pull back for off. Oh, okay. Oh, jeez. I can sneeze louder than that horn. In fact, I do on a daily basis. That's the horn button. Yeah, we're going to have to put some kind of better horn on here. Guaranteed. But anyway, got it all put together. Nice display. Haven't taken it out in the sun yet. Got the shifter fixed. Oh, I got to tighten that screw back up. Don't forget. In fact, I'm going to do that right now so that I don't forget.